Okay, then. So in yesterday class, I started SQL Server and discussed about what is SQL Server. So basically, it is RDBMS product from Microsoft, and this is mainly used to what for companies use SQL Server to create database and to manage database. So in if you want to create database, if you want to work with database, we use this software SQL Server. So in real-time projects, what for SQL Server is used? This is used for development, database development, and database administration. You can use it for development and you can use it for administration. What is of okay then. So what are the activities of developer, day-to-day activities of developer and the day-to-day activities of admin? If you join as a developer, so these are all what your day-to-day activities. And if you join as a DBA, so this is all what your day-to-day activities. So you need to know about installation of SQL Server. You should know creating the database. We should know creating logins for developers. You need to know how to take backups, how to recover the database, how to export database from one place to another place, how to upgrade the database, how to migrate the database, performance tuning. So you must know this concept. Okay, then. And these are the versions of SQL Server. Okay, 2016, 17, 19. Okay, then. So all these are versions of SQL Server. So, but after installing, you install either 2016 or you install 2017 or you install 2019. Any version you install. So after installing, suppose you install SQL Server in this computer. Okay, you install SQL Server in this computer. After installing SQL Server in this computer, what this computer is called? This computer is called server. Okay, then server means what? Server means a system where SQL Server software is installed and running. Okay, SQL Server software is installed and running. So then, so if SQL Server is installed in your laptop is called server. If SQL Server installed in this computer can be called as server. If SQL Server is installed in mobile phone, your mobile phone is called server, but not possible. Okay, na? Why? Because SQL Server is there for Windows, SQL Server is there for Linux, but SQL Server is not there for Android, because your mobile phone runs on Android. So SQL Server is not there for Android. So you cannot install SQL Server in mobile phone. Okay, then, and after installation, so then using SQL Server, okay, inside the server using SQL Server, you create what's a database. You create the database. Okay, then you create the database. Okay, na? Then, so wherever SQL Server database resides, that system is called server. Okay, but problem is we can't directly work with what? Servers. Okay, that is not possible. What we use another system. We use another system, and using the system, you connect to what? You connect to what's it? Server, and submit what? request, submit the request and receive what? Response. Okay, na? Submit the request, receive the response. So you use another system. From this system, you connect to server and submit the request, receive the response. But what is this computer is called? This computer is called client. So this is called client. Okay, then what this is called? Server, and this is called client. Next, so but in this client you need to install one tool. You need to install one tool. Okay, na? Then so to install one tool, so what is the tool is? SSMS. What is SSMS? Stands for SQL Server Management Studio. So you have to install SSMS tool, SQL Server Management Studio. So using this tool every day, you connect to SQL Server, work with database. So okay, then okay then. Now this is what we discussed. Okay, na? Then so but how to download means? Okay, then tell me. So if you want to practice, this. To practice this, what softwares you have to download? Two. You need to download two. One is SQL Server, one is SSMS. You have to download two. You have to install two. Okay, na? SQL Server plus SSMS. Okay. Then see. So how to download SQL Server? First install SQL Server, then install SSMS. Okay, na? What students will try? They try to install SSMS. If you install only SSMS, it's not enough. You need both. Okay, na? Then so how to download? So to download, then go to what? To download this, go to what's it? Microsoft.com. Okay, then to download, go to Microsoft.com. Then where is business? Okay, then one second. Then SQL Server, what's that? 2019. Okay, na? Then developer edition, etc. Then go to SQL Server downloads. Then so just type this SQL Server 2019. Which version you want to download? Type that one. SQL Server downloads. So go to this. Then next. Suppose here. Then so one second. Then here. So there is a call. What's that? Products. In this product, select what? SQL Server 2019. SQL Server 2019. Select this SQL Server 2019. Then next. So then now once again, after selecting SQL Server 2019, then next you'll get something like this. What is this? Is SQL Server on Azure. SQL Server on Azure. SQL Server at the edge. SQL Server on premises. And like what? Suppose here SQL Server on Azure means if you want to install SQL Server in cloud, then download this one. You want to install SQL Server in cloud, then select this one, SQL Server on Azure. Okay. Then suppose I want to install SQL Server. Suppose here what we have to select, if you want to install SQL Server in PCs, not in cloud, then you select this one, on premises. But what is this is? This is what, sir? Trial version. What this is? Trial version. And this works for only 180 days. This is trial version and this will work only for 180 days. After 180 days, it will ask license. Okay, na? Then. So, but I don't want to use licensed version. I don't want to use licensed version. I want to use free version. I want to use what, sir? Free version. Then here, free specialized edition. Okay, na? So, like there are three here. One is SQL Server, Azure. This is for cloud. Leave it. So actually we have to use this one, SQL Server. But what is this is provided trial version. But I don't want to use trial version. I want to use free edition. Okay. Then so here free edition is there. So there are two free editions provided by SQL Server. One is what? One edition is developer edition. One edition is express edition. So you can download anything, either developer or express edition. Both are what, sir? Free. Okay, na? Then so like click this what? Click this what, sir? Download. Click this download. So I want to install developer edition. Then click this one, download. Either install developer edition or install express edition. Anything is okay. So suppose here I'm downloading this one. Okay. Then so I'm downloading this, and this is download is what, sir? Downloaded. So when you click download here, you can see that. So you can see that here you got this one. So then show in folder. This is downloaded. Okay, now where you can find this? After downloading, where you can find this? Downloads. You can find this in downloads. So then, so go to downloads. Go to downloads. In the downloads, SQL Server DAO is there. SQL Server DAO is there. Then, so what we have to do? Okay, na? Then double click. When you double click, then what happens? Installation starts. That's all. Very simple. When you double click or open, when you open, then what? Installation starts. Installation begins. Okay, na? Then, so simple. So tell me what we have to do. Okay, na? First step. What is the thing? First what? Go to Google. Then type what's it? Download SQL Server 2019. So then you'll get first one, Microsoft.com. So SQL Server downloads. Select this. When you select this, then it is showing a list. From this list, so I don't want this Azure, I don't want this one, and I don't want this. I want to download free edition. So select this what? Download now. Download now. Then download it. Will be, this will be what? Downloaded. You can find this in downloads. So go to downloads. You can find this. Then next what you have to do? Open. Otherwise, double click. When you double click, then installation what? Begins. Installation begins. Next, you see, like what you have to do is see the step-by-step installation. Okay, na? Like see what? Step-by-step installation. So step-by-step installation of what? Then step-by-step installation of SQL Server 2019. SQL Server 2019. Which edition? Developer edition. So step-by-step installation of SQL Server 2019 Developer edition. Then, so now just see this here. Then now So like just see this here. Then so when you type that, so when you type that, you what you typed here, step by step installation of SQL Server 2019 developer edition. Just one link is there. So just first link. So click this. When you click this, then it will give one step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, like this, step by step. So then click this one. When you click this, okay, then so you see that step 1, step 1. In step 1, this is the file. What is this file? After downloading SQL Server, you got this file. Then what you have to do? Double click. Double click. So when you double click, installation starts. Installation starts. Okay, na? Installation starts. Then so in this, so you'll get 3. Okay, 3. First screen, you'll get 3: basic, custom, next one download, media. So which one you select? Custom. Select custom. So there are 3, like actually 2 installation: basic installation, next one custom installation. Select what? Custom installation. Select custom installation. Next one. After selecting custom installation, next so then what is the step 3? Okay, step 3, what? Choose installation. Choose installation. In this installation, choose installation here. Okay, then so in this select first option. What that is? New SQL Server. What, sir? Choose new SQL Server standalone installation. Okay, then choose new SQL Server standalone installation. After selecting that, then specify the edition. What is the edition? Developer edition. Okay, na? Edition is developer edition. So specify the edition. So after selecting the edition, accept what, sir? License terms. So accept means here there is a accept license. You have to what? Select. You have to select. You are selecting means you are accepting license. Like leave it, that one. And Microsoft update. Sir, here nothing here actually. That's what you have to leave it to default. Okay, na? What you have to do? Just click next, 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 next. Okay, na? Then everything in all these steps, what you have to do? Next, next, next. Then, but here installation rules, this is also okay. Future selection. Okay, na? Then future selection. In future selection, so there is an option here, database server engine, database engine. So what you have to select here? Database engine. Okay, na? That's what here. What you don't need to do anything. Just you have to click what? Next, next, next. So, but in this, okay, only one step. Okay, na? Then in this only one step. What this step is? Here this step is what, sir? 12th step. In 12th step, it will ask password. Enter password. You enter the password. You have to remember the password. We'll use that password every day. Every day we use that password. This you have to enter. Okay, na? Only one you have to enter. What that is? Password. Enter the password and remember the password. So that's all completed. Step 4, accept installation. So ready to install. Finish. Okay, na? Understood or not? Then sir, okay. Then huh? Sir, installation here actually, installation is here. This is nothing actually. Just what you have to do, next, 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 next. But only one place you have to enter what's that? Password. Installation is not concept to understand. Okay, na? Yes or no? Then But some tools like what? Some tools, uh, small tools. Okay. You download and double click, then installation will be completed. But here some steps are there. But in these steps also, you don't need to do anything. Just what? Next, next, next. But only one step, you have to enter what's her password. Okay, na? Then. So, if you want, like, I'll give this what? Links. Okay, then. So, this is the link. What is the link for downloading? Then, link for downloading. Link for what's it? Step-by-step installation. So this is the link for step-by-step installation. Okay. What is the link for downloading? What is the link for downloading? Like what I said here, download SQL Server 2019. Then this is the link for downloading. Link for downloading. But remember, what you have to remember is, just remember in Google, what you type? SQL Server 2019 download. Then you'll get, so select that Microsoft.com. Next here, what you type? Step-by-step installation of what? SQL Server 2019. You'll get one website. Select this one. That's all. When you select this one, then you can give the, you can see the step-by-step, step 1, step 2, step 3, like that. Okay, then. So after this two, what is completed? SQL Server. SQL Server is completed. So if you want to install in your laptop, you try this. If you can't, then bring your laptop. Okay, na? You try. If you can't install, then you bring it. Okay, na? Then first you try this. Like you see this, definitely you can install. Next. So what is completed is SQL Server is completed. Next what? Next what's it? SSMS. SSMS. Then SSMS what's it? First you have to what? Download. Okay. Then SSMS also you have to download. Okay. Then how to download? Huh? How to download? Same thing. What? Type what? Download. What? Download SQL Server Management Studio. SQL Server Management Studio. Okay. Then download SQL Server Management Studio. So type this. Then just go to this one. Okay, na? Go to this one. So what this is? Download SQL Server Management Studio. Free download SQL Server Management Studio. Okay. So this is what? Like link for downloading SSMS. Then, so click this. When you click this, then what happens? This is what's it? Downloaded. Where you can find? You can find this in downloads. You go to downloads, you can find this. Again, what's it? Double click. When you double click, installation starts. But this is nothing yet. Just it will be installed because it's a tool. Okay, na? So there won't be any number of steps here. Just what? Only one step. So that install automatically. You don't need to do anything. Okay, na? Then. So these two, what you need to do is, so first install SQL Server, next install SSMS. Okay, na? Then. So after completing installation, okay. So after completing installation in your system, what is created? What is installed? SQL Server Management Studio is installed. Okay. SQL Server Management Studio is installed. Then now let's see then how to connect to SQL Server. Okay, how to connect to SQL Server. Then to connect to SQL Server. Okay, then to connect to SQL Server, open what SSMS. Open SSMS. You install both in one system or separate system? You install both in one system. That means that system is acting as what? Server and client. So it's acting as server and also acting as client. So to connect to SQL Server, open SSMS and enter the following details. To connect to SQL Server, open SSMS, enter the following details. So now let's see. So open SSMS. I'm opening this. Then oh. Okay. Now let's see what it is asking. Okay. Then so like see this. What we have to input, we have to enter these details. What is the first one is server type. Just see this. Server type, server name. Next one, authentication. Next one, login. Next one, password. This is what we have to enter. Okay. To connect it to SQL Server, open SSMS, enter following details. Server type, server name, authentication, login, password. Okay, then now. So server type is fixed. What that is? Like server type is always what's it? Database what? Engine. Server type is fixed. Server type is always database engine. Okay. Server type is database engine. Now, so like there are different server types. Analysis service, reporting service, integration service. There are different services available, but analysis service, reporting, integration services are used in MSBI. If you go to MSBI, that is a separate, okay, na? Separate course, MSBI. If you go to MSBI, they use this one. But here, what service we use? Database engine. Okay, na? We use database engine. Next one. What is the next one? Server name. Server name. What is server name means? Server name means name of the computer where SQL server is installed. What is server name means? Name of the computer where SQL server is installed. SQL server is installed in this computer. Server name means name of this computer. How to find the name of this computer? Okay. How to find the name of this computer? So this is computer icon. Yes or no? This is the computer icon. Right click. Go to what, sir? Properties. If you want to find out the server name means computer name. So then go to select this computer icon, right click, go to properties. So in properties, you can find this device name. Device name means computer name. Okay, na? Device name means what? Computer name. So this is the device name. Okay, then you select this. Next one, copy and paste it. Sir, okay? Then so select this, copy this, and what's it? Paste it. But in my system, it is like this. But in your system, you have to find out. Okay, na? Then okay, na? Server name. Server name means name of the computer. So next, what is the next one? Next one is authentication. And authentication can be, okay, there are two. Authentications can be, there are two types. One is SQL server authentication. Another one, Windows authentication. What that is? Windows authentication or SQL server authentication. Okay, na? Then, so if you select Windows authentication, it will not ask username and password. Directly you will be connected to server. Without giving the login and password, you will be connected to server. If you select Windows authentication. If you select SQL server authentication, then it will ask login and password. Okay, na? Understood or not? Then, so Windows authentication doesn't need what? Doesn't ask username and password. SQL server authentication asks login and password, which is secured. SQL server authentication is secured than Windows authentication. Sir, okay, na? Sir, suppose I want to just practice. Every day I want to practice. Then you can use what? Windows authentication, because security is not required. For practicing, why security is required? Yes or no? But real-time projects, what, sir? Security is required or not? Yes. Then they use what? SQL server authentication. Then compulsory they have to provide login and password to connect to SQL server. Okay. Then, so suppose here, then I am selecting what? SQL server authentication. Then, so SQL server authentication. Next, what is the next one? Login. Enter. If it is SQL server, compulsory you have to provide login. So after installation of SQL server, one login is created automatically. What that login is? SA. So listen, after installing SQL server, one login is created automatically. What that login is? SA. What is SA stands for? SA stands for system admin. What is SA stands for? SA stands for system admin. Okay, na? SA stands for system admin. Next, enter what, sir? Password. Sir, in installation, I said we enter password. Na? At the time of installation, I said enter the password, remember the password. So that password here. Understood or not? In installation, we enter the password. Na? So I said you enter the password, remember the password. So that password we use it here. Okay. But what is the password I entered? So at the time of installation, I entered what, sir? 123. Okay. Then during the installation, we enter the password. That password we use it here. So login is SA, password is 123. Password is 123. Then click what, sir? Connect. Will be connected. Server type is database engine, that is fixed. Server name means name of the computer where SQL server is installed. Authentication is SQL server authentication, or you can also select Windows. So if you select SQL server authentication, compulsory you have to provide login and password. Login is what, sir? SA. Password is what? 123. Click what, sir? Connect. Click connect. Okay. Then so like after you click connect, then you are connected to server. One connection is established. Okay. Na? So then you are connected to SQL server. Connected to SQL server. So after you connected to SQL server, then what it is showing? It is showing what, sir? Object Explorer. Left side, you are getting one window. What is that is called? Object Explorer. So this is called Object Explorer. Okay. Then, so in this Object Explorer, there are some folders. One folder is what? Like tomorrow I'll ask them to install magnifier. Okay. Na? Otherwise we'll go to one room. So in that there is a projector. Okay. Na? So there will be more visibility. Okay. Then, so like in this Object Explorer, there are some folders. One is databases, one is security, server objects, replication, polybase, etc. There are number of what, sir? Folders are there. So then, so like what I said, SQL server manages what? Databases. Then you can see you expand this one databases, then you can see the list of databases it manages. You can see the list, databases list. Okay. But in this, how many databases are there? Okay. Na? In this, how many databases are there? Only one is there. What is the database name is? DB7AM. This is one database. So that means in my server, how many databases are there? Only one database is there. Like you can have multiple databases, number of. So if you go to real-time server, suppose in Wipro, they are doing one project. So in that their server contains 400 databases. The server contains what? 400 databases. Microsoft is there. Microsoft server contains 1500 databases. Okay. Na? So if you expand these databases, how many databases you'll get? Hundreds of databases you'll get. But in this system, how many databases are there? Only one database is there. Okay. Na? Then, so next, suppose here, I don't want to use these databases. I want to create a separate database for this class. I want to create a separate database for this class. Sir, okay na? Understood na? Then, so what is ready? Yesterday we discussed it. Server. Inside the server, you create what, sir? Database. Okay na? Server. Inside the server, you create database. Now, so I want to create one database. And creating database in SQL server is very simple. Okay na? First see this, then after that I'll explain. So like how to create database. Select this databases, right click, select what, sir? New database. So if you want to create a database in like server, then select databases, right click, select new database. When you select new database, then what it will ask? It will ask what, sir? database name. It is asking database name. I'm giving the database name DB730 or what sir? DB 7 p.m. Okay, DB 7 p.m. Yes. Okay, na? DB 7 p.m. Or sorry, 6 p.m. Our time is what? 6 p.m. DB 6 p.m. Okay, na? So enter the database name. Click what, sir? Okay. Database is created. Okay, na? Enter the database name. Click what? Okay. When you click okay, so database is created. Database is created. Say okay. Database is created. What is the database name? DB 6 p.m. So creating the database is very simple. I'll delete this database again. Once again, I'll show that. Like, okay. So I'm deleting. Next what? How to create databases? Right click, select new database and enter database name. So DB 6 p.m. and click what, sir? Okay. But creation is simple. But what you must know is when database is created, what happens? Okay, na? Then now let's see this. What? So after you connected, then what is the next? Creating database. Then creating database. Then and to create new database. Okay, then so to create new database in object explorer, select what, sir? Select what? Databases. Select databases. Next what? Right click, select what, sir? New database. Okay, select databases, right click, select new database. Then what is the next? Enter what? Database name. Enter database name. Suppose for example DB what? 9 a.m. Enter database name DB 9 a.m. What is the next? That's all. Click okay. Enter database name. Next, what the next one is? Click okay. Then, but what happens is click okay. Then a new database is created. Database is created, but database is created with the following two files. Database is created with what? The following two files. When you create a new database, the database is created with two files. Okay, na? Then one file is called data file. Another file is called log file. What is important here? When you create database, what happens? That is important. Database creation is simple, but when you create database internally, what happens is it's created with two files, data file and log file. Okay, then data files means every file will be having extension or not? Files will be having extension. Excel file extension is what? .xls. Okay, text file .txt, MS Word .doc. Yes, files will be having extension. What is the extension of data file? .mdf. What's it? MDF. What is MDF? Stands for master data file. Okay, na? Then next there is a file called log file. What is the log file? LDF. What is the log file extension? Log data file. So database is created with two files. One file is called data file. Another file is called log file. Okay. Then what data file stores? So data file stores what's it? Data file stores data. Okay, na? In database you store the data now. Where the data stored? The data stored in data file. Data file store the data, and log file stores operations. Okay. Data file store the data. Log file stores what? Operations. What operations? In on database, whatever operations you perform, that operations are recorded in log file. You insert the data. Okay, na? You perform insert operation, that is recorded in log file. You update, it is recorded in log file. You delete, it's recorded in log file. Every operation on database is recorded in log file. Sir, okay, na? Then every operation on database is recorded in log file. So data file stores data and a log file stores operations. So suppose in database you are storing customer data. Where customer data stored? Data file. Customer data is stored in data file. Okay. Next, suppose you store employee data. Employee data is stored in data file. All the data, whatever the data you store in database, so that data stored in data file. And whatever operations you perform on database, that operations are recorded in log file. Then, so now let's see. So this is the data file name. Okay, I'll give it here. 1 second. Then data file, what's that? Name. What this is? Type. Next one, size. Initial size. Next one, auto, what's that? Growth. Next one, path. Like, okay. Then so name, type, initial size, auto growth, path. What is the data file name? Data file name is file name. Okay, na? What is the file name? What is your database name? DB 6pm. File name is also DB 6pm dot MDF. What is the file name? DB 6pm dot MDF. Whatever database name you give, so the file is also created with what? Same name. Your database name is XYZ, then data file name is also XYZ.MDF. What the type is? Type is what's it? What is the type? Data. What is the initial size? Okay, na? Initial size. What is the initial size? Initial size is what? 8 MB. Initial size is 8 MB. Okay, that means initially how much memory is allocated for data file? 8 MB. Okay, 8 megabytes. Okay, na? Then, so next, suppose here 8 MB is full. If 8 MB is full, then this will be increased by 8 MB is full. If 8 MB is full, so then this is increased by how much? That is called what, sir? Auto growth. Okay, then so 8 MB is full. The file is full. 8 MB is full. If 8 MB is full, so the size is increased by how much? So what the auto growth is? 64 MB. Okay, what the auto growth is? 64 MB. 64 MB. What this is, sir? Understood, na? Huh? What is initial size? What is auto growth? Understood? Then initially how much memory is allocated for data file? 8 megabytes. 8 megabytes full. You are storing the data. Yes or no? So it is 8 MB is full. Once this 8 MB is full, then the file size is increased by 64 MB. 64 MB is also full. Then again 64 MB. Again 64 MB. Okay, na? That is what auto growth means. The file size will be automatically increased by 64 MB. Okay, then. So next. But here actually, sir, if you want, you can change this value also. Initial size is 8 MB now. I don't want 8 MB. I want what, sir? 100 MB. I want 1 GB. If you want 1 GB, then tell me what value you have to type. Sir, initial size is SQL server is giving 8 MB, but I don't want 8 MB. I want 1 GB. I want to allocate 1 GB for data file. Then tell me what you do. Change that value. Change that. 8 MB is there, na? Change that value. Change that value to 1 GB. How to change? Sir, here it is asking in MBs. It is asking in MBs, but you want to give 1 GB. Then what you type? 1024. 1024. 1024. 1024 MB equals to 1 GB. Okay, na? Then. So if you want, you can change. By default, it's giving 8. 8 is not enough. So I want to give more. Then type it. 100 MB, 200 MB, or 500, or 1000, or whatever you want, you can give it. Okay. Then auto growth also you can change. By default, auto growth is 1. By default, auto growth is 64 MB. If you want, you can change this value. How to change this value? So click this. When you click this, then it is asking what's it? 64. Change this. Enter 64 to. Again, I want every time I want to increase by 1 GB. Again, you type 1024. Okay, na? Then, like, what is the path? What is the path of the data file? Where this data file is saved? Okay, this data file is saved in this path. So listen, see this. The data file is saved in this path. What that is? Program files. See program files. Next, Microsoft SQL Server. Next, MS SQL Server. MS SQL data. What this is? Path. It's not compulsory that you should save it in same path. You can save it in different path also. You create your own folder. In that folder, you save it. Okay, na? Understood? But by default, this data file is saved in this folder. Understood, na? That. Now, so, like, next one. What is the next one? DB, what? 6 PM. Underscore, what's that? Log. What this is? What this is? Log file name. I said 2 files now. Data file and log file. What this is? Data file name. What this is? Log file name. So this is log. Okay. What is the initial size? Same. What is the auto growth? Same. 64 MB. What is the path? Same path. So that means both data files, log files are saved in the same path. Okay. If these 2 files are gone, database is gone. Database means nothing but these 2 files on. Okay. So database means nothing but these 2 files. If these 2 files are gone, database is gone. Sir, yesterday I said DBA will take backup now. Taking the backup means taking the backup of these 2 files. Okay. You got some pen drive. So copy these 2 files to the pen drive. That means backup is created. Understood? So database is there in this system. The database is created in this system. Okay. I want this database in my laptop. Okay, na? Database is there in this system. I want this database in my laptop. Then what you do? Copy these two files to pen drive and copy that files to WhatsApp in your laptop. Understood now? Then Bus, please. No? Okay then. So this is like database creation. Okay, database creation. Sir, here once again, then here one option is there here. What is that option? In this here, one option is there. What is that option? Add option. What for this add option? What for this add option? Click this. This add option is for adding a new data file. To add a new data file. Add one more. Add data file. Add data file. Add data file. To add data files, use this one. Sir, okay na? Understood or not? To add what, sir? Data file, then click this add option. Okay, then. So by default, it creates with one data file, one log file. You want to add one more data file. Then what you do? Click this add button. When you click this add button, one more data file is added. So question comes, sir, why we need another data file? One is enough now. One data file is enough now. Why we need another data file? Okay, then because so actual size is what, sir? 8 MB. If 8 MB is full, automatically size is increased by 64 MB. When size is automatically increasing, why we need extra data file? Yes or no? Reason is, sir, 8 MB is full. Then 8 MB is full. Then what? 64. 64 is full. Again 64. Again 64. Again 64. C drive is also full. Where this file is saved? Where this file is saved? C drive. C drive is also full. Then what? Understood na? C drive is also full. When C drive is full, then what you do? Add one data file. Add one data file. Add one data file. This is data file. Okay. What is the size? 8 MB. So this is 64 MB. Save it in what's it? D drive. That is why he has given that option, add option. Understood na? Then. So tell me, when we need to add data file? Huh? So when size is automatically increased by 64 MB, if drive is also full, then add one data file, save it in different drive. Sir, understood na? That is why he has given that option. Okay. Now, then that's all. So that's all. Click OK. Then. So database is what's it? Created. Then database is created. What is the name? DB 6 PM. DB 6 PM. So in my system, SQL server is ready. Inside the SQL server, database is also ready. Database is also created. Now we can work with the database or not? Yes. If you want to work with this database, first of all, you have to open the database. To work with the database, you have to open the database. How to open the database? Select this database, right click, new query. Select the database, right click, new query. When you select new query, then here this query window opens. This is the window. Okay, na? Then here what you do? Here you write. here you write some commands to perform operations on database. Okay, here you write some commands to perform operations on DB 6 p.m. Whatever the commands you execute here. So write the command, click this, what sir? There is a button here. What is that button? Execute button. So click the execute button. When you click the execute button, this command is executed on database. Which database? DB 6 p.m. Because which database is open? DB 6 p.m. is open. So whatever this command you execute, this command is executed on DB 6 p.m. Sir, okay na? Understood? So that's all. Here, this is what? Database, what sir? Creation. Now, next. So then, like, listen, see, just say here, using what? User, using what? SSMS connected to SQL server, and using SQL server, he created one database. What is the database? DB 6 p.m. So database is ready. This is ready. Okay. Now user is connected to SQL server. Okay. Now next what? Every day this user has to work with what sir? Database. Okay na? So he has to work with database. He wants to work with database. Okay. To work with this database, this user has to communicate with what sir? SQL server. He cannot directly work with what? Database. He has to contact one SQL server. So you want to store some data. If you want to store some data, then user has to give request to, he has to tell SQL server, I want to store the data. So he wants to update the data. He give request to SQL server, and SQL server go to database and update the data. So if user wants to perform any operations, then user has to communicate with SQL server. Yes or no? ATM. So you insert card, enter PIN number. You are connected to bank server. After connecting to bank server, it will ask which language you want to use for communication. Then you select Telugu, Hindi, English according to your convenience. Yes or no? So that means there, what it is asking? It is asking language for communication. Yes. Here also, what is required? You need a language to communicate with what sir? SQL server. Understood na? To perform operations on database, you need to communicate with SQL server. For communication, what is required is language is required. But SQL server don't know Telugu, Hindi, English. SQL server knows only one language. What that language is? SQL language. Okay na? SQL server understands only one language. What is that language? SQL language. Then SQL language. Okay. So now tell me, what is DB 6 p.m? Database. Database is for storage, storing the data. What is SQL server? Software that manages database. Okay. What is SQL? A language to communicate with SQL server. What is SSMS? SSMS is a tool to connect to SQL server. Tool to connect to SQL server and submit SQL commands. Submit SQL commands to SQL server. So using this tool, you connect to SQL server and you submit commands. What commands? That commands belongs to which language? Means SQL language. Okay. Then, so like sir, here actually students what they will ask in the beginning. Okay na? Before they start course. Sir, I want to learn Oracle. Okay na? They'll ask, sir, I'm learning Oracle. Do I need to learn SQL? They'll ask like this. I'm learning Oracle. Do I need to learn SQL? Okay na? So if you go to Oracle, then same thing. In Oracle also, what will be there? Same thing. What is the tool they use? SQL plus. What is the language they use? SQL. What is the database they use? Oracle and database, some database. Okay na? Then you go to MySQL. What they use? MySQL Workbench. What the language they use? SQL. What the database? MySQL. Then that means one database to another database. Language is same or not? Same. Here you are learning SQL. In Oracle also you learn same language. Language is same. What is the difference? What is the difference? Huh? Yeah, this is okay. Okay, na? Then what is the difference is tool. Tool is different. SQL Server, what is the tool we use? SSMS. If you go to SQL Oracle, what is the tool they use? They use a tool called SQL Plus tool. Okay, na? In SQL Plus also, like suppose here, open Oracle, enter what's that? Username. Okay, na? Username. So batch what's that? 9 a.m. Next one, password. What that is? Password. It is asking one password. Here also in SQL Server also it is asking login and password. Na? So here also it is asking one username and password. Enter. Then batch 9 a.m. Next one, what? Some password. But enter the password. Password is not displayed. Okay, na? Then so connected. Connected to what, sir? Oracle database. Connected to Oracle database. Sir, okay? Understood? Then, sir, all databases what, sir? Same. Okay, na? Then, so like actually, suppose if you are, for example, Java students requires what? Java students requires Oracle. .NET students requires what? SQL Server. Okay, na? Then other than these two, like what you need is you need database knowledge. What they expect in interviews, what they expect is they expect what, sir? Database knowledge. Whether you know Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, that is all secondary. What they expect? Database knowledge is expected. Okay, na? Then so whether you know database, what is database, how to create the database, and how to write what's it? How to write what? This SQL commands. That is what like expected. Then and one more thing. So Oracle SQL is same as what? Oracle SQL, SQL Server SQL is same or different? In SQL Server you are learning SQL. Oracle also you learn SQL. So these two SQLs are same or different? Almost all same. 80 to 90% what's are same. Any changes are there? The changes are what's are minor. Major part is one same. Okay. Then so if you know like working with SQL Server, then you can also work with what's are Oracle. Sir, okay. Then. That's all. This is like so in the next class, like we'll discuss SQL. Okay, na? We'll start what's it? SQL. Okay, na? We'll see that in the next class. Miru, 1 second. Back. ఇక్కడ ఇది మిషన్ లెర్నింగ్. ఓకేనా? దెన్ మిషన్ లెర్నింగ్ అంటే పైథాన్ ఇవన్నీ ఉండాలి. ఓకేనా? డేటాబేస్ ఇంజన్ సెలెక్ట్ చేయి అంతే చాలు, అదొకటి చాలు. Next stage, which is. Hmm. Oh. Developer కావాలి కదా. Oh. So, okay, guys. Okay. Bye. See you. Anish, I'll talk to that regarding that later. Okay, not now. Huh? Then. The notes I'll give it after creating Google Classroom. I'll add it so you can download it. Okay, then. think I forgot to announce. Okay. Okay then. Bye. Thank you. Bye. See you tomorrow.